Soul Simmers, and welcome back to another episode of the Mod Mansion series. We are getting closer and closer to this Mod Mansion actually being done because we are working on the next bedrooms in this episode. This will be bedroom number 7 and 8, and I cannot wait to tell you more about the mods that we're working with, or like the mods that we're building for in this episode. However, before I dive into the nitty-gritty of all of these bedrooms, I would like to tell you a little bit about the project in general, just in case that this is the first time you're ever seeing a video in this series. So the Mod Mansion is a huge mansion that I have been building over on my Twitch streams. If you ever want to come hang out for streams like this, building streams, gameplay streams, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday over on Twitch. It is linked in my description box down below, so feel free to come hang out. It is always a good vibe. But basically, I've been building this over on my Twitch streams, and I am making this mansion for all of my Twitch moderators. For anyone who doesn't know what a Twitch mod is, it's basically someone that voluntarily helps out to keep the community safe, to make sure that, you know, everyone listens to the rules and no one is being nasty in chat, but they also help in, you know, keeping me as a streamer accountable, mostly by making silly jokes and sometimes bullying me a little bit with all the best intentions. And I really, really love my mods. I could not do what I do without them. They help me so much in, you know, just keeping the vibes good in chat, making sure that I don't forget important things, and I appreciate them so infinitely much. So I decided to pay a little homage to them, to give them their own beautiful house where they could all live together and where all of their interests and all of their personalities were represented. So that's basically the idea behind this house. I have already uploaded a bunch of videos in this series where I showcase other bedrooms, where I talk about some of the other mods and who they are, and also all the common spaces where you can actually see where we're building, like the kitchen and the library and the game room. So if you want to go check that out, they're all listed in a playlist on my channel. So I would love to hear all of your thoughts on everything, of course. But now that we're on this episode, let me actually introduce to you the mod that we're building this specific bedroom for. So this bedroom is for Kris, and Kris also filled in the questionnaire, so I actually can share what guidance she wanted to give me for building this room. In the question for what is her favorite color, she said that she likes all colors, but if she had to choose, it would be black. Then her hobbies are belly dancing, learning languages, playing games, and listening to music. If she had to describe her interior aesthetic in 3 words, it would be, and then she writes, I don't know anything about aesthetics, but I like mostly black and white, I guess very simple. I don't have much decorations, etc. After seeing Petra's answer, which is one of my other mods, and they all filled in this questionnaire in the same channel, she says IKEA is the perfect answer to this. So that was definitely some guidance in terms of like what type of furniture and stuff she would like. When asked if she is a maximalist or a minimalist, she says that she has no idea, but she guesses that she is a minimalist, question mark. When I asked her if she has a lot of clutter or clothes, she says some, but not too much, and most of her stuff is in drawers anyways. Next to that, she considers herself a little bit of both messy and neat, but more neat if she had to pick between the two. So her job is that she is a quality inspector, but she has not really any clue how that should be represented. But she also does voluntary work, specifically dance related, and considering that one of her hobbies is belly dancing, I think we should absolutely make sure that that is included in the build as well. Her favorite food is chicken pasta, and the favorite places that she's traveled to is, and she writes, wait for it, ... Athens. And this is because we actually talk about her love for Greece on stream a lot. This is something that she's always very passionate about. She loves to share about like her travels and the amazing food that she has. And when she is over in Greece, she also shares like a bunch of her vacation pictures in our community Discord. So I feel like it's definitely one of those things that signify Kris also in my brain, but also I think for the rest of the community, is that she absolutely loves Greece and she loves to share her passion for Greece. So that obviously had to be included into the build in some way or another. When I asked her if she likes art, and if so, what art style she likes, she says that she's not that much into art, but that she has some posters that are black and white, and that she doesn't really know how to describe them, but they all have a woman on them in some way. And if I wanted to, she could take pictures and then share them with me later. She did, and we actually sort of used that as inspiration. I think mostly the fact that there were women in all the pictures and that they were black and white was obviously a defining factor of what we could use also in The Sims. And next to that, I wanted to make sure that some of the art also has sort of like the ancient Greek inspired theme. And I wanted to make sure that just in general, like the artwork that we use above her bed just gives Grease vibes altogether. And I really liked being able to include so much in like sort of a subtle context in a way. So it wasn't like I made the entire room like Greek themed, but it was very visible that that is something that she's interested in. Then what you see here now is we're building like a little dance setup because like I said, she enjoys belly dancing. She also helps out other people with dancing. She talked about this a lot as well, where she's like joining dance shows and stuff. So I wanted to make sure that she has a solid spot in her room to practice her dancing. So I made sure to give her a big mirror and one of the dancing mats from high school years so that she can actually do some dancing with like a nice stereo and stuff. This was another room that was a big challenge in terms of space because it was yet another almost like square room that was just a big space, and I wanted to avoid having like a big open space in the middle. But I think eventually by sort of splitting it up with the cabinet and the bookcase and stuff, it turns out really cute. Next to that, I asked her if she had any other guidance or tips for me, and she wrote that she's a cat mom, so obviously we had to make sure to include that into the build as well. And something else, like I said, that I really wanted to incorporate is her love for Grease, but not just in the pictures and the images, because Kris is another one of the mods that has a private balcony. So I realized that I could use that balcony to create like a little sort of Greek oasis. So you'll see me working on that at the last part of this room. But I think that is maybe one of my favorite parts in the entire mansion because I just absolutely adored how it turned out. And yeah, other than that, I wanted to make sure that she has a nice gaming setup because she definitely plays a lot of The Sims. She is actually one of the first people that I know of course, that took fully complete my pack legacy. I think she completed it within like a couple of weeks after me releasing it. She played through it so fast, which I'm still in awe of. I also added Little Penguin because she is also a moderator for another Twitch streamer called Happy Sims, who has like penguins as their brand, and she also has a tattoo of a penguin. So all of these like little details that I knew about her, I tried to incorporate into this room. We're also going to make like a nice spot for the cat to make sure that that is also very well represented. So I tried my best to incorporate as many things as possible. And I think in the end, when I showed the room to Kris, she said that she absolutely loved it and that she would love to spend some time here. And in the end, I actually love how this room turned out, even though when I was starting out, I was struggling a little bit with the color scheme because she said that her favorite color is black. I wanted to have a lot of like black and white interior, but I didn't want it to feel sterile. I still wanted it to feel like cozy and a nice space where you want to spend time. And I think with the blue accents from Grease and like the plants and all the details, that definitely worked out. So I'm really happy with how this room turned out. And yeah, I'll leave you guys to enjoy the last little bit of decoration, and then I'll come back with the voiceover when we start the next bedroom. So here we are back with the voiceover for the next bedroom, and the next bedroom is bedroom number 8, and this is for my moderator, Linn. And this was actually a really challenging one for me because I didn't immediately have a vision for this room. So this room took a little bit of trial and error in figuring out what I wanted to do, but also a little bit of trial and error to figure out what style from the game matched Linn's style IRL. So let me tell you a little bit about Linn. She also filled in the questionnaire, so that gives us a chance to get to know her a little bit better. So she wrote that her favorite color is green and that she specifically likes sage green and dark green, like a good forest green. Her hobbies are crafting, reading, gaming, and music, and she says, "I don't mind a little piano or guitar to be featured." If she had to describe her interior aesthetic in 3 words, it would be vintage or secondhand furniture, wood and earthy colors, and candles. Then she also writes that she would see herself more as like in the middle between maximalist and minimalist. She doesn't really see herself as either, but she has a lot of stuff, but she wants everything to have like a dedicated space. So therefore she says that she's a little bit in the middle between the two. She does say that she kind of owns a lot of clutter and clothes, but again, it all has to have a specific space, so it's not just random in the room. She describes herself as an organized mess and then says, do with that whatever you want. So that was definitely giving me some instructions on the fact that there should be stuff in the room, like it should be well decorated, definitely not minimalistic, but also it shouldn't look messy. It should look like everything is in a place where it is supposed to be. And I think I could work with that. I think that definitely gave me enough direction of what I wanted to do. I was mostly struggling with the secondhand and vintage options. Like she loves to upcycle furniture, but in the game, we either have furniture that looks very old and worn down and trashy, or it looks very modern and clean and neat. But there isn't a lot in the game that looks like it could have been old or could have been secondhand, and she kind of like upgraded it, so to say. So I think it wasn't necessarily that I didn't understand her style, but it was mostly me struggling to translate that style into the game. Her job is a teacher, and although that doesn't really feature much in her house rather than just books, I do think it is something that specifically for me and my brain really characterizes Linn, because it's something that we've talked about quite a lot, and it's something that she shares things about, specifically how her workday was and stuff when we're hanging out on Twitch. So for me in my brain, Linn being a teacher is a very important like personality trait, and I wanted to make sure to have that incorporated in some way. Her favorite food is pasta and sushi. The favorite place that she's ever traveled to is Bolivia, and she says that she misses it so much, and also that some of the things that she took from there have like little corners in her home so that it reminds her of it when she looks at it and she just basically walks through her house. She is reminded of the amazing travels that she had there. When I asked her if she likes art and what style she likes, she says that she writes, "I guess I do. Like mostly realistic paintings," with a lot of dots and question marks. So she wasn't really sure. And I think that was something also a big challenge when we were building this room, is figuring out which paintings that we had in the game actually were paintings that she enjoys and that she thought were like pretty. She says that she likes drawings or oil paintings with nature motifs, forests, and animals. And that was something that I also know about her, is that she does horseback riding. So I wanted to make sure to also incorporate that in one of the pictures. Something else, when I asked for like any guidance or tips for this build, she writes, "I like my cozy space. A lot of small lights." And then she writes, "I hate," in capital letters, "ceiling lights." She loves blankets and pillows and stuff like that. And also most of her furniture are old and secondhand, and that she renovated it herself. And even though she likes her dark and earthy colors, she still wants her space to be bright and fresh. So big windows and a lot of light walls. And that was something when I started working on this build, you might have seen it, that I tried to put like a mural on the room above her bed. And she was actually hanging out in chat, and she was like very kindly but firmly telling me, "Ro, I hate this. Can we please get rid of it? This is not me. I would never have this." So that was definitely something that for me took a little bit of adjusting in how to figure out, again, like how to get her style to work in the game, how to represent her favorite colors without it being super dark. But I think in the end I got there. It definitely took me a while. Also, with all of the small lights, I actually ended up not using a ceiling light in this room. It isn't even there, so she can't even use it. It's just small lights, candles, decorative lights, wall lights. But that always takes a lot more work in The Sims to make sure that everything's well lit if you're only using the smaller lights. I also realized that maybe using different pieces of furniture that aren't like necessarily a match or from the same set, like I'm doing here with the wardrobes, can give that illusion of it being upcycled, because they still fit together somehow, but they're clearly not from the same like line or maybe from the same store. And also the hand painted details were giving a bit more like vintage or upcycled to me. And she ended up saying that she really loved this corner that I end up making with the 2 cabinets for the clothes and stuff. So I was very happy, because at this point in the build, I started to feel like I was understanding what she was looking for in a room. And I was very, very thankful for having custom content, because I think with just in-game content, I would have literally not been able to make this room. I don't think we have a lot of items in-game that look secondhand or upcycled, so I don't think I would have been able to do this without my custom content or my mods, and therefore I was really happy that when I was building this room that initially I made the decision to make this a CC project, because when I'm building for content, I usually try to stay away from custom content because I'm afraid that, you know, people wouldn't be able to download it, etc. But because of this project, it wasn't the most important thing that it would be a downloadable thing. It was the process of the building was the most important. I just figured and I just decided that I wanted to incorporate CC because I also hadn't been doing a CC build in a really long time, and especially in moments like this, I was very thankful of my past self for making that decision. Something else that I feel like was very fun in this room that I'm just thinking of as I'm watching back the speed build is that obviously Linn says that she loves crafting, and I really wanted to incorporate that into the room as well. But eventually I tried to sort of figure out where I wanted to place all these items and things, and we came up with this really fun idea to have sort of like a table over the bed that looks like she was crafting on her bed, but it's like one of those things on wheels that you can sort of move around so that she could also be chilling in her bed and doing her crafts. And I showed her this and she was like, oh, I actually now kind of want to have this IRL. I don't have it right now, but I would love to have something similar in my house. So I feel like this mod mansion for multiple of my mods sort of gave them some inspiration to work with their space as well, and to, I don't know, maybe have someone else translate your style into a physical space is also a way to reflect on like how your style could look like and maybe get some new ideas. So that was definitely super fun to do, and I very much enjoyed this room. It was a very different style to any of the other rooms I've done, and that was something else about this project that I just really loved and enjoyed, was the challenge for me to continuously do rooms in a different style, but also to make sure that in total the house still sort of felt cohesive. So I ended up using the same floor everywhere, for instance, which for some rooms worked like magic, like it just fit perfectly, and for some rooms I really had to work a bit harder to make sure that that sort of wooden flooring wasn't clashing with the rest of the room. So it was definitely a challenge, but I do feel like because I use the same floorboards everywhere, it does keep the whole house as a total way more consistent. And yeah, these are all just like little details that I thought of and I very much loved and I enjoyed. So I hope you guys are enjoying it too. After this, I think there will be 2 more videos with more bedrooms. So if you want to not miss out on those, please make sure to hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. And just in general, if you like these videos, please tell me in the comments down below what your favorite part is so far. If you enjoyed this specific one, please toss it a cheeky like. It does really help the video get to more people. And with all of that being said, I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of the decoration with some nice music in the background, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye everyone!